Okay, friends, carrying on. Isn't this fun? Lesson 55, taking us through those beginning lessons 21 to 25. We're going to go through the next five. It's a lot of fives, right? Okay. I am determined to see things differently. What I see now are but signs of disease, disaster, and death. This cannot be what God created for his beloved Son. The very fact that I see such things is proof that I do not understand God. Therefore, I also do not understand his Son. What I see tells me that I do not know who I am. I am determined to see the witnesses to the truth in me, rather than those which show me an illusion of myself. Number two, what I see is a form of vengeance. The world I see is hardly the representation of loving thoughts. It is a picture of attack on everything by everything. It is anything but a reflection of the love of God and the love of his Son. It is my own attack thoughts that give rise to this picture. My loving thoughts will save me from this perception of the world and give me the peace God intended me to have. Number three, I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. Herein lies salvation and nowhere else. Without attack thoughts, I could not see a world of attack. As forgiveness allows love to return to my awareness, I will see a world of peace and safety and joy, and it is this I choose to see in place of what I look on now. Number four, I do not perceive my own best interests. How could I recognize my own best interests when I do not know who I am? What I think are my best interests would merely bind me closer to the world of illusions. I am willing to follow the guide God has given me to find out what my own best interests are, recognizing that I cannot perceive them by myself. And number five, I do not know what anything is for. To me, the purpose of everything is to prove that my illusions about myself are real. It is for this purpose that I attempt to use everything and everyone. It is for this that I believe the world is for. Therefore, I do not recognize its real purpose. The purpose I have given the world has led to a frightening picture of it. Let me open my mind to the world's real purpose by withdrawing the one I have given it and learning the truth about it. So I am determined to see things differently. What I see is a form of vengeance. I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. I do not perceive my own best interests, and I do not know what anything is for. You kind of have to have a sense of humor with these lessons too. Um, let them kind of marinate and to feel it out and to give them a shot in your world to like take a moment and just like try this thing on. Um, yeah, it's so powerful. I'm determined to see things differently. I think that really is important because it's speaking to the willingness again, this determination to see things differently. If I'm seeing something a certain way, and it's bugging me. Am I willing to change my mind? And this lesson is saying, I'm actually determined. I'm determined to change my mind about this. Acknowledging that I see a form of vengeance, that I see fear playing itself out. It's a representation of unloving thought, and I want to represent loving thought in the world. um, it's my own attack thoughts that are giving rise to this picture. So this, again, taking responsibility for your mind stuff is so empowering. Otherwise, we're victims. I was just having a conversation a few days ago with someone in my life, and he's really on the struggle bus with a few things. Um, is going through a lot. And in my listening, I want to create space for him to share, but in my listening, I'm hearing a lot of victimization. I'm hearing a lot of blame, and it's causing him anxiety. It's causing him almost like a Fear is paralyzing, isn't it? And he's seeing a form of vengeance in the world. The more he affirms his stories about what went down, the more difficult it is for him to realize that he doesn't know what anything is for. If he were to instead use the lessons in the Course in Miracles, and that's why he has me, right? To sprinkle some of these ideas into his world, to say, what I'm seeing is a form of vengeance. His frustration, um, his judgment, his blame, his shame is a form of vengeance based on his thoughts about what he thinks occurred. The Course would say it did not occur, and what you think you saw is an illusion. So, to actually apply that when you're really on the struggle bus, is that return to center that we've been really focused on in this portal in this group. We really want to be in a centered space. We want to escape the world because we're willing to give up our attack thoughts about it. And there's willingness again. In my friend, there's still a real attachment to his version of things and an unwillingness to give up his attack thoughts about what he think happened. Um, but he's the one who did A, B, and C. And until he stops deflecting that or undermining that, he can't heal from it. And that's really what the name of this game is, isn't it? I know that all of us, I really truly believe that all of us want to be unburdened and we want to set down our attack thoughts. We want to set down the things that are difficult and hard to process. And the way to do that is here written in this material to say that, you know what, I don't perceive my own best interests. I know that this man for sure is not perceiving his own best interests in this case because if he knew that he didn't know what anything was for, and that what he saw is a form of vengeance. And if he was indeed determined to see things differently, and knowing that he could escape the world and the situation that he's seeing by giving up his attack thoughts about it, there would be the healing for him. If he knew that, and if he studied this material, and like you are right now, a lot would be different. Not only for this friend I'm thinking of, but for so many of us that are caught in these loops, these wheels of suffering, these samsaras that, if we realize I am not perceiving my own best interest in this, I'm really not, um, that's powerful. And I want to say this, sometimes it's in doing the thing that you don't think is the right thing that is in your best interest. Now, let me reframe that and explain what I mean by that. Like, for example, leaving a relationship. There can be resistance to that because you're like, oh, but I've committed and I should work harder in this relationship and I have a child or, all of the things that we say and we stay in these relationships because we are not perceiving our own best interest because we are attached to our attack thoughts. Our attack meaning if I separate or divorce, this is going to be a bad thing. But to say to myself, I do not perceive my own best interests, and to allow the divine to show me what that is sometimes the opposite of what we think it should be. Like the divine has asked me to do a lot of things in my life that have felt against the grain, that have felt like this can't be the direction the divine wants me to go. Because, again, if we have that religious programming, we think suffering is the way to enlightenment. We think that, marriage is forever, no matter what. Um, we think that self-sacrifice is a part of how we gain favor with the divine, but that is not how this game works at all. Gaining favor with the ego is the way, is through suffering, sacrifice. And it's as if we have placed the ego in the position of the divine to justify our unwillingness to give up attack thoughts, to acknowledge that what we're seeing is vengeance, to say, you know, I'm not determined. I don't want to see things differently like my friend. This is what it is. And I was like that, and I can still be like that for a lot of different things. Like I'm like, no, this is the way it is. But being willing to and determined to see things differently, you know, gives us the answer. My point is that sometimes the answer will look different than you think it should. But remember, you don't know what anything is for. So you're kind of living in this question. And that can be a really fun place to be. So wishing you a good time today practicing these lessons. Have fun with it, try them on for size and see how they unfold for you. Bye for now.